Kia ora, my name is familiarising and welcome to Oho Ake Books. I want to talk about this book, Dr. David Hawkins' book, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender. I've just finished, almost finished it. I've been practicing that form of letting go for many years, and my process with that, his process, is quite different to the process I've actually been experiencing, but it's very similar at the same time. I guess that really started for me back in 1993 actually, when I learned how to meditate. 1994, I learned how to meditate and became acquainted with the meditation technique of mindfulness of breathing and metta bhavana. Because the first thing I let go of way back then was drinking alcohol, due to the nature of my own personal experiences with alcohol and my family's propensity towards alcoholism, on my father's side at least anyway. So I let go of one of the major crutches in my life that was suppressing my trauma, my childhood trauma and my wounding, which was alcohol. And that was huge for me because I was drinking every day before that happened. I was a full-blown alcoholic myself. And in a moment, I let go. I had a traumatic incident in my life that I experienced and created that forced me into the place of pressure where I chose to let go from the experience I was having at the time, which was drinking heavily. But I let go of it in every way. When I let go of that experience, I knew I had to go back into that environment, which was the bar. And I ended up doing a bar course and managing bar for 7 years all around the world, just to see what it was like to be on one side of the bar, where I wasn't drinking anymore, but I was dealing with people that were drunks and drinkers, just to recognize that part of myself that I no longer identified myself with being, I truly let it go. And I had. I was not drawn to it in the slightest. Didn't touch it. Alcohol, that is. It was a very powerful experience for me to go into that place of deep letting go of something that I was drawn to so heavily and so predictably, because it was so accessible to me as well. Alcohol was everywhere. You can pick it up like that. It's legal. You can get it. It's everywhere. People drink it. It's socially acceptable. Other drugs, not so much. But alcohol is socially acceptable. So therefore, for me, putting myself in a situation where I was completely immersed in the experience of seeing people drinking every day, being the person that I used to be, I let go of that person. 100%. I'm no longer that person anymore. It's no longer who I am. And the people that associated with me, that the person I used to be, they slowly began to see me as somebody else, and they left my life. I let them go too, out of my life. We had nothing in common anymore. Nothing. They were still drinking heavily, and I wasn't drinking at all. I let go. The process of letting go for me continued as well. I had to let go of a beautiful and powerful relationship with a girlfriend that I had for many years. I had to let go of a powerful relationship with a woman that I was with for only a very short time in my life. When I broke up with her, and she broke up with me, of course, as well, back in Dunedin, after my incident with my alcohol-related moment where I was becoming my father through my actions and my words and my deeds, following exactly in his footsteps as the programming was installed in me, I began to do that, began to become him, but I let go of that too, that programming. Let go of it, like that. I realized it was time for me to let go of that person that I was. I did it instantaneously. I let it go, and it was very powerful and very transformative for me to get into that space where I did that. It was a simple decision for me. I realized that this is not who I wanted to be. I wanted to be my own man. I wanted to be my own man. I wanted to be my own human, not my father, myself. Easy, bang, let go. That process for me also continued as I left New Zealand to travel around the world. I lived abroad for 7 years. I had to let go of the person that I was in this country for my entire life, the person I'd become as I became someone else after I stopped drinking, the person that I'd become when I left Dunedin to live in Motueka and into Auckland, when I lived in Auckland as well, the person that I'd become when I left Auckland to move to Motueka, the constant process of letting go of who I used to be, my own sense of self-identity. Who was I? I was this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, letting go, letting go, letting go. On a deeper, deeper level, the process of letting go of parts of my life that no longer served me became as imperative and important as it possibly can be for a person that wants to evolve and shift and grow and can become closer and closer every day to source power, putting the ego to the side and being the spirit inside, being the peace, being the acceptance, feeling the love of source energy is my guiding force from my heart. Now, this book has been instrumental in the last few months as I've gone through enormous shifts and changes in my own transformation, even more so than the years between me letting go when I first initially began that process back in the early 90s up until this moment now, which is almost 30 years later. Massive. It's helped me to see that with my publishing company and my content that I've created and where I wanted to go with my content, where I was seeing myself going towards, how much I invested my time and my energy in this process, that I was attached to an outcome. I was attached to an outcome and the security and the safety of the job that I used to have 6 weeks ago that I don't have anymore. I was attached to the outcome in regards to people who I was going to work with and what they'd bring to me, what they'd offer me in my process of creating and marketing my books. I just had an email about half an hour ago from somebody who told me that, look man, we can't help you. We can't help you. You've got a tiny little audience. Your website sucks ass. It's not great. Your products, yeah, no, we can't help you. And that was their professional view. But that was their professional perspective on my work, my website, and of course what I'm doing. My presence wasn't big enough for them to work with me, they said. And fair enough, I get that. So here I am again, in the process now of letting go again. Letting go of that which I perceived to be an outcome with this particular company I wanted to work with. I caught myself in that process. I felt this is what's going to happen. I was attached to an outcome. Wasn't to be. And now I'm in a process now of deep letting go again. And this is going to be lifelong for me. And in that book, at the end of the book, there's a really poignant statement that Dr. Hawkins makes. Every moment is a chance to practice letting go. How do I feel? Not what I'm thinking. How do I feel in my body? What do I feel? Where do I feel it? Feel into the feeling, into the emotion, into the body. Where's the resistance? Where's the resistance? It's a really good question. I intend to keep practicing it. Mate wa. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.